Okay there, folks. For the last couple of weeks, I have been reviewing horror films, particularly, because I love them, and a word I keep running into is the word trope. I, of course, have watched other reviewers use the word trope. I used it myself without knowing what it meant. And I think that's really dumb. I shouldn't use words that I don't know. So, trope. A trope is a noun, a figurative use of a word or hyperbole, an instance of use, or a figure of speech. So, the classic example would be that, soft and round as a peach. It's a figure of speech. Like a peach, or she's a peach. That would be a trope. Trope is a one-word saying for figure of speech. In horror movie language, trope has begun to mean cliché. This is a more modern use, and in more modern I mean that this is a use that has come in at least the last 2 decades to mean that it's overdone. A horror movie metaphor, yes, thank you, Rusty. Scratch all over me. A horror movie metaphor would be much like in the Halloween series. In the Halloween series, Michael Myers' knife is a metaphor for a penis. The penis penetrates but destroys. It is a metaphor for the destruction of virginity, or the destruction of youth. That is one of the things about that series, and why is Michael Myers, as well as many horror movie characters, always going after people having sex? Well, it's because of sexual frustration. These are characters that are frustrated. When you think about it, Michael Myers is essentially a eunuch. He can't have sex. Why can't he have sex? Because he's too emotionally damaged. It's not that he physically can't, it's that he emotionally can't. The same thing with Jason Voorhees. Have you ever seen that character get busy? No, he's not exactly the romantic type. This is the thing. So, a horror movie trope would be a horror movie metaphor. And a common horror movie trope would be, we see this metaphor a lot, as in the murder weapon being a phallus, a phallic symbol. In Alien, if you look at the work of H.R. Giger, you know that the alien is indeed a sexual symbol. It's part of his nightmares where he drew basically giant penis monsters. And he draws a lot of giant penis monsters and a lot of vaginas and things like that. That's H.R. Giger. So yes, the artwork of Alien is very sexual. It's about sexual angst and sexual violation. That's a horror movie trope. So really, when you talk about horror movie tropes, they may be very common. It's not how they're used, or it's not that they're used, it's how they're used that should be asked. Because in Alien, it did really well, and in Friday the 13th and Halloween, I think they were used very well. Of course, now that we know that trope is a noun, essentially meaning metaphor or figure of speech, it's generally not used in terms of production, but in actual writing. So, there aren't a lot of figures of speech that are common to horror movies. It's not, he got smushed. It's not common. So, it's a bit of a misuse, but if you went around saying, oh, it's a horror movie trope, meaning it's a horror movie cliche, people will probably know what you mean, but it's just not the right use of the word, apparently. So, I'm Richard Neal. This is my special guest, Rusty, and that's been the word of the day.